My name's John Mallon. I'm the chair of the Belfast group of the Irish ship to Gaza. Myself and Phil McCulloch, were travelling on the ship, but if you're watching this, it's very likely that we have been kidnapped by the Israelis and are being held by the Israelis. I appeal to everyone, Irish in Belfast and further afield, to come out onto the streets and support the campaign to free the people of Gaza, and come out and support the people of Gaza. Thank you very much.
By the time you watch this video, myself and my comrade John Mullen will have been kidnapped by the Israeli Defence Forces in international waters heading into Gaza, and we do not know at the minute where the destination will be, where the Israeli Defence Force are going to bring us to, a prison or wherever, or a camp. But I do appeal to the people of Belfast and Ireland, when they get this video, to come out in their droves, and not only just to support myself and John and the other people who have been kidnapped by the Israelis, but for the people of Gaza themselves, because it's important that we stand together in solidarity with the people of Gaza. And I thank you all for your support, and do please come out and demonstrate if necessary. Thank you.
Well, first of all, John and Phil set off with 13 other comrades from across Ireland to bring humanitarian aid to Gaza, and also to break the illegal siege that's been imposed on the people of Gaza. They did try this here several months back, but the Irish ship was sabotaged. They got it repaired, and as they do, you know what I mean, we're not easy defeated, the Irish. We go back and we do it again. So they went back again, done it, got on the ship, left Wednesday morning, sailed along, everything brilliant. Everyone was in great spirits, you know what I mean. They were sitting around at night, weary of what was going to happen, weary of the journey ahead of them, but still, determined that, no matter what, lay ahead, they were going to break this siege. Then during 6 or 7 o'clock this morning, our time, the Israeli helicopters started to come towards both that and the Canadian boat. They then seen 2 warships, Israeli warships in the background. They held back a bit, the Israeli helicopters and military disappeared. They then travelled on, so they did, and to make haste to hit Gaza. Everybody's spirits were high, brilliant, they were making good speed. They actually hit 41 kilometres, do you know what I mean, from the Gazan shore. And then to the left, out of nowhere, 2 Israeli military ships came. Another 2 helicopters, then joined later by 6 smaller military vehicles. They asked both the MV Saoirse and the Canadian ship to turn back. That was a stupid question. Why should they turn back? They have done nothing wrong. They were in international waters. They weren't defined. They were innocent, you know what I mean, law-abiding citizens, and they carried on. Israel then asked them their destination. They told them it was Gaza. After what seemed to be like hours, it was probably like minutes, we lost contact with all of them, and we started getting some media footage that they had taken over the boat. They had hijacked the boat, they had arrested all 15 members on board and took them against their will onto an Israeli military vessel, and what we know now is they're currently being towed into Ashdod port, we believe, where we now know that the situation is going to be that they're taken into a detention centre, they're interrogated, all their belongings taken off them, their passports. We would ask the Irish government, what has been your delay? You have known that this here was going to happen, you have foreseen this here, where are you? People, we have tried to call you all afternoon, that you knew this was happening, and it's fell on deaf ears. These are Irish citizens who've been taken hostage on the high seas, and you have sat back and done nothing, and we demand that you now stand up for our comrades there and bring them back home.
Well, I think, first of all, I don't think it comes as any surprise to us that Israel have again breached international laws. They have went into international waters and arrested Irish citizens off a boat that was making its way with humanitarian aid to the people of Gaza. We all know what the Israeli government have done in Gaza. and what the people on that boat were doing was quite simple, and that was bringing humanitarian aid to them people. Obviously they're going through a very hard time, but I mean, Israel have went and again and acted as a piracy in international waters by arresting Irish citizens. 15 Irish citizens have arrested off this boat. I think that's uncalled for. I have now called on the Irish government to make sure that they intervene as a matter of urgency, calling on the Israeli government to act as a matter of urgency to release these people, because it's not fair, it's not right, it is a breach of law in my view. I think it's illegal what Israel have done here, and they should be ashamed of what they've done, because what happens here is that innocent people have been arrested off a boat, simply bringing aid to people who need it.
What's your message to Belfast citizens who want to show their support to these two brave men?
Well, I think what people here have gathered tonight to show their solidarity with John and Phil and the rest of the members of MV Saoirse, and I think that's great, and I think over the days ahead people will come out in strength to show their solidarity, because it's quite clear to ourselves that John and Phil are members of this community. They take part in all sorts of humanitarian deeds. They act, and they have been very much in support of the Palestinian people for many years now, and other worthy causes right around the world, and they've stepped up to the mark. People of Belfast will also step up to the mark as well to make sure is that they are released, because that's quite important. People of Belfast will not let this rest.
Your uncle has been effectively kidnapped by Israeli forces. What would you ask the Irish government to do in relation to this?
I'd like them to step in and speak up, because they're too quiet at the minute. They need to speak up and make their voice heard, and make the voice be heard on an international level, that we just can't stand for it anymore. They need to be freed. They need to be able to get aid. They need to be able to live.
What was your view of what John and Philip were doing?
Very brave, very, very brave.
And indeed, what were they trying to achieve by?
They were trying to break the blockade, to free the people from the ghetto that they have been forced into. It wasn't right when it happened in Nazi Germany. It's not right nowadays.
I'm absolutely disgusted by the actions of the Israelis. I think it's a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. They've committed piracy on international waters. They've arrested good men, people that are out on the humanitarian cause, and I just think it's an absolute disgrace that it's happened.
What would you call on the Irish government to do about this hijacking?
To demand their releases immediately, and that's it. They have to be released as soon as possible, with no excuses given, and brought home to where they belong, and they're heroes for what they have done.
How concerned are you for his safety?
Very concerned, considering the things that have happened in the past, especially with the other flotillas. Very, very concerned, and the fact that there's no communications whatsoever, and communication's been cut off. Everybody's concerned.
In terms of what ordinary Belfast citizens can do to show their support, what would you suggest?
They need to get on to Facebook. They need to get on to there's numbers on Facebook to contact the Israeli embassies, to get on to the Irish government, to phone, to Twitter, just to keep on going, complaining, requesting anything that they can do, anything possible, by phone, by coming out. I'm sure over the weekend we'll maybe have another couple of demonstrations. Come and show your support, and hopefully we'll get them home soon.